Yes, sir. Mckulsky. Greetings and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Name
Greetings.
is Sherlock Robinson.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Man,
Greetings.
I
It's a
thank
pleasure
you
to have
for having me to be on my YouTube channel.
you. Right, sure.
Yeah, man, and it's a interview long overdue.
Yes, it is. I mean, quite some time now we've been talking about it, but it wasn't able to materialize.
Yeah, but we're grateful that we're here. So, but first, let me ask you. Your name Hidran Mckulsky.
Yes.
How did it? I know that his your parents give you that name,
Yes.
but I ever asked him about the name? Kind of sound more like Spanish. I'm not sure.
It's Polish. Mckulsky is Polish.
Okay.
And it means the son of Mckuls. Mckuls, the son of Mckuls. I really would not have done much research on it to better understand the son of Mckuls meaning, but that is what my research so far would have established. And the first name, Hidran, I have been trying for quite some time to at least identify the origin.
Yeah.
But I'm unable to. Well, you know, we Jamaicans are very creative, and our parents are usually very creative, and so they make names. Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, so I'm yet to identify the true origin of the name Hidran.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, sir. Where you're from?
I was born in Glengoffe, St. Catherine.
Okay.
That's deep rural St. Catherine. You access Glengoffe by either going into Bogwalk and then going into Arkansas and then up into Mount Glengoffe, or you go the route of Stony Hill, Golden Spring, Temple Hall, Lawrence Tavern, and then the next community beyond Lawrence Tavern.
A long journey.
Glengoffe, right? So I'm from deep rural St. Catherine, Glengoffe.
Okay, so in terms of your growing up, what kind of a child were you growing up?
My life was a very interesting one, exciting, but I held my own. My parents, though they were not formally trained,
yes,
they continued to support us to the best of their abilities and to encourage us to keep our heads high and to aspire, you know.
Okay.
And that's what we did. And long story short, the rest is history.
So you used to like go look wood and carry water.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
Yeah.
Yes, man. I have so many memories of looking. I used to even burn my own coal.
Yeah.
Coal. Yeah, man. I was a coal maker and burner, and I used to sell coal also. I used to when I would have
interesting story.
When I would have pulled all the wood from the gullies and the different neighboring properties, I found myself climbing trees to chop from the trees those dry limbs.
Yeah.
And my life was like that. Water, I had to travel miles in the mornings and even the afternoons with water from the river sometimes. That's when water would not have been in the road. There was a pipe stand, you know, different standpipe, right? In different communities, you would have one standpipe, and so we had to walk long distances with the water, and sometimes when that is out, I would have to travel even further to the river to get water and stuff. So I grew up understanding hardship, and I appreciate it because it has really helped to mold me into the person I am today.
So in terms of going to school, which school did you attend?
I went to, well, you know, in Jamaica we have a lot of basic schools, and we usually name them after the person who owned them.
Yes.
And so I went to Miss Mabel basic school that was in Mount Concord, Big Road, Glengoffe. And I also, because my parents, we were unstable somewhat, so we moved from different communities, from communities to communities.
Okay.
I found myself going to Fiani Basic School in Lawrence Tavern. I went to 2 basic schools. I went to 2 primary schools. I went to 1 high school, and it's because of my parents moving from community to community because they didn't own their own place, so we had to be renting.
So what's the name of the primary school you attend?
I went to Grateful Hill Primary School. That's in Glengoffe.
Yes.
And I went to Lawrence Tavern Primary.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would have gone to 2 primary schools during those years.
So going to primary school, were you like a teacher expect say a bright child?
No.
Or you have to work hard for your grades?
None at all. I was far from being a teacher's pet or what we would consider to be a bright child. I was I would consider myself to be a very inquisitive person at that age.
Yeah.
I was curious, very curious. I wanted to experience things physically in a practical way. And so I would consider myself growing up to be a very hands-on type of person. So anything that requires manual labor to be done around the campus, then I would be that person that the school, the teachers and other students would look to.
Okay.
But as it relates to being a bright child, I wouldn't say that I was a bright child. I was not as fortunate.
So maybe that's why you become curious.
Yeah,
So
right.
in other words, you were hungry for knowledge.
I was hungry,
from at a tender age.
Very well.
Which is
very
commendable.
Well. Very well.
Yeah, man. So when you transition now from the primary school, which high school did you attend?
I went to Oberlin High School, that is in St. Andrew.
Yes.
Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew. I did 6 years at Oberlin.
Okay.
That's in Lawrence Tavern. Very memorable school years.
Yes.
Years of my life. I was actively involved in school. I participated in track and field. I was a part of an a cappella group, a singing group. That's where my singing started.
Yeah.
I was involved in school. I was very much involved in high school life. I was a farm captain at one point. And that was a strategic move on my part because of the difficulties we were experiencing as youngsters growing up, knowing how challenging it was for my parents to provide for us, to adequately provide for us. I positioned myself in the agricultural class as a farm captain.
Yes.
And so I had responsibility over the school farm, even on weekends. If I wanted to, I could have gone there to tend to the animals and the crop, and so that was another source of food for myself and my family. You know, sometimes I can recall, even sometimes I was going home and you couldn't tell my books different from cucumber and cabbage and stuff because I would normally reap some. My agriculture teacher, Miss Foreman, and some other persons and Miss Arnold would assist me. Would work with me, and I would reap, and the excess, goes to us as farm students, and so I would normally reap and take home to assist my parents.
So during your high school years, any teacher you would want to highlight who help you to mold?
Quite a few of my teachers
work with you.
I want you to understand that though I wasn't a perfect child, I wasn't a saint.
Yeah.
And so I developed a very close relationship with my high school principal.
Okay.
She was vice principal at one point, and then she became principal, and that is Thelma James. Thelma James.
Big up Miss Thelma James.
Yes, man, definitely. Big her up. I talk with her from time to time.
Yes.
We still maintain a relationship, and I want you to understand also that she was one of my biggest motivation. She challenged me to become a worthwhile citizen.
Yes.
She challenged me to receive the highest level of education that is possible, and that is the PhD.
Yeah.
I can recall Miss James telling me one day that I told her that, Miss, one day you're gonna call me doctor, and she said, I bet you. And I knew right there and then
Yeah.
that was a source, that was a motivation. She was challenging me to at least
Yes.
fulfill that dream. You know, it was a challenge. And so she was definitely a motivation. We had Miss Foreman, my agriculture teacher, and you can understand why I would see Miss Foreman and Miss Arnold as two of my most favorite teachers, because they would have assisted me to survive during that point. And of course, one that jumps out more than many others is my guidance counselor.
Okay.
And she is now deceased, Aunt Beverly. I tell you, she is the reason for me being where I am today.
Wow.
She is the sail beneath my wing.
Yes.
Yeah. She took me up as her own. And she started providing, she became more than a guidance counselor. She became a family friend. She would visit my home, every now and then. She and my parents, they developed a very close relationship. And she adopted the entire family and started guiding us. And I can recall in high school, she looking at me and say, listen, you have the potential to be great, and I'm not going to stand by and watch you go waste. And so she guided me through the whole application process into my more mature life now. Starting from there into the university, she was there. And the sad part of everything that has to do with Aunt Bev is that she encouraged me throughout my first year in university. And it so happened just before I was to have collected my transcript, my first year transcript, she passed.
Wow.
And that hurt to this very day. Because I scored excellent grades in that first year, and I wanted to at least show it to her, to have her really understand that she really contributed to transforming.
Her labor was not in vain.
And she died. And right there and then I decided that I cannot fail. I will not fail.
Yes.
I will do everything that is humanly possible and honest to ensure that I become the successful person she saw in me. And also for my parents, that was my commitment to them.
But just to backtrack a bit, you mentioned about track and field.
Yeah, sure.
So what kind of athlete were you?
I was a very determined athlete. I can't tell you that I was the fastest, but I was doing well. I was competing. I was very competitive in the 100 meters. And I also did discus.
Okay.
And I mastered discus, did excellently in discus. I continued with discus even and track even into university. And if I were to check the records, I probably am still the older of the discus record at Northern Caribbean University.
Wow.
Yeah, I went into college with it.
Okay,
you know?
so you attend Northern Caribbean. You transitioned from Oberlin High School to
Northern Caribbean University.
Okay.
Right.
So how did you get that kind of a transition? Because you said
Aunt Bev,
okay,
guidance counselor.
Because Oberlin is in
St. Andrew. Oh, because I'm an Adventist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Northern Caribbean University would be the first choice because Northern Caribbean University is the university that provides provides employment for many students, and those persons who are really less fortunate, it gives them that opportunity to study and work on campus.
Oh.
And so without that that income, that support, that financial support that I would have needed to transition to move through university, I had to now give serious consideration to working on campus, doing 2 or 3 jobs while studying. So even my university years was quite difficult, quite challenging.
Well, I kind of have an understanding about the studying. I did a little bit of study myself, and when we went to the first class, the lecturer at the time told us that sleeping is now a concept.
Yes.
And never know what it means, but we really experienced it through the studies. So kind of have an understanding.
Right.
Yeah, man. But back to your story, so you transitioned to NCU.
Right.
And where were you in? What was your interest?
My interest at the time was engineering.
Yes.
So I was enrolled in the engineering program. I started doing engineering. But at the end of my first year, was where when Aunt Bev died now, I decided that I want to go into service, into more human, more service,
Yes.
social service, education. And so I switched from engineering to education, secondary education. Because right there and then, I wanted to be in a position where I could influence lives, young lives in meaningful ways. And so I decided to pursue a degree in secondary education.
Okay. So after you complete that degree, you started teaching, right?
Yeah, I did. Before I completed my first degree, I was an assistant instructor at the Northern Caribbean University for physical education.
Okay.
And because I was sports oriented, and then I completed my studies. I taught at Hatfield Primary and Junior High at the time. I did my practicum there. I went to the Carteret College.
Yes.
I also spent some time at the Carteret College, and then I was, upon graduating from NCU, I was offered a job in the education department as a graduate assistant.
Yeah.
And that was because I became enrolled immediately upon completing my first degree into the master's program.
Okay.
And so I was now a grad assistant, and I started working alongside some of the lecturers.
Yes.
Until I graduated from grad assistant to becoming a lecturer, an instructor. And so I was now lecturing and teaching at the Northern Caribbean University in the education department. And then while pursuing my master's, after some time, I sought employment with Hard Trust, NTA. I spent some years at Hard Trust, NTA. I spent about 7 years at Hard Trust, NTA. I worked in Mandeville, Kingston, Hanover. I moved across different positions, so I was a fast riser, put it that way, for want of a better concept term. So I started out as an employment facilitation officer. I was responsible for placing the graduates of Hart into jobs in St. Elizabeth, across the parish of St. Elizabeth.
Okay.
And then the Prime Minister, he was the Minister of Education then.
Yes.
He decided that he was going to introduce what we had referred to as a career advancement program. This was where a lot of at-risk youth and persons who were not able to matriculate readily into tertiary studies were now given an opportunity to pursue vocational studies while benefiting financially and in other ways from the government. And so the Minister of Education then, Prime Minister now, asked the head of Hard Trust NTA to assemble a team of persons to build out the concept, the career advancement program. And so I was fortunately one of those 10 persons who were pulled from across the island to build out the career advancement program. And so I started working in Kingston at that time. And then later on, when the program was done and it was time for implementation, I returned to manage the career advancement program in Central Jamaica. So Holmwood at that time was one of the schools that I had responsibility for as it relates to the implementation of the career advancement program. And so while I was doing that, I believe that a number of persons across the Ministry of Education and Hard Trust saw some potential, leadership potential, leadership abilities, and so I was asked to take up acting principalship at the B.B. Coke High School in Junction when the principal, Mrs. Wellington, retired. And I went into Junction, St. Elizabeth as principal. At that time, I was the youngest principal in the country.
Yeah.
I was 27 at that time. And I went there and I mobilized the team and I shared the vision and the community, the board, the school, the teachers, parents, they bought into the vision and we decided to start the transformation of that institution. Shortly thereafter, I again was asked to come back to Heart Trust because they now had an institution over in Kenilworth Heart Academy. That's in Sandy Bay, Hanover.
Okay.
I think that is the second largest heart institution in the country.
Yes.
Right? And so they had asked me to go there because the institution was going through a turbulent period. A lot of indiscipline was were being displayed. There wasn't much any great sense of accountability among staff. And the place needed a vibrant, forward-thinking type of person to really grow it. And I went there. I spent some time there. Traveled from Mandeville to Hanover on weekends, and worked there in the week and come home on weekends. And so I did that for some time. I got tired of it, and I after 2 years, I believe, I asked the head of the entity, Heart Trust at the time, to consider relocating me to an institution that is closer to home.
Yes.
And vacancy was available at the NTI, National Tool and Engineering Institute in 3 Miles, Ashenine Road.
Yes.
And I went there as training manager, and I spent some time there, got the institution moving, did a whole lot of work. And by this time I was traveling now from Mandeville to Kingston, so it was no longer from Mandeville to Hanover, but now Mandeville to Kingston. Oh. And so my daughter was born, and I decided that I wanted to be closer home, closer to her.
Yeah.
And my family. And I again asked for another transfer, and the position of registrar at the STVET campus in Manchester was made vacant, and I was ushered into that position. And I worked there for some time before I decided that I wanted to return to my true calling, which was education at the secondary level. And I went to Penwood. So there was a vacancy at Penwood for vice principal at the time. And I applied, I did the interview, was successful, and went to Penwood as vice principal. And worked with Principal McLaren, Donna McLaren, and the staff there, students, the community, again, the Prime Minister. The Honorable Andrew Holness is the Member of Parliament who is responsible for that area, the constituency within which the school falls. And so I got the support of the Member of Parliament and the community at large, and we were able to see meaningful growth also at Penwood High School. I spent 2 years there. Again, I was traveling from Mandeville to Kingston every day. Yeah? Every day. Oh. I did 2 years there, and I believe that God blessed me. I saw an opening. I saw an advertisement. The position of principal for Holmwood Technical High School was advertised.
So that's when Mr. Bailey
Mr. Bailey was retiring, right, in 2016. And I applied, and I came in, did the interview, and I was successful. Okay. And so I was now able to relocate to Mandeville and to where I've been serving.
So just to backtrack a bit, so you never did much, you didn't do much teaching then in the classroom?
I not in the classroom, at the secondary level. Most of my teaching experience was secured at the NCU.
Okay.
At NCU, because I did just about 6 years teaching at NCU.
Okay. So now that you are the principal here at Holmwood, we know that Holmwood is a name brand school in this area.
Right.
And I guess because of football, track and field, and netball,
Yeah.
right?
Cricket. Yeah.
And also cricket,
Right.
and
now
also
female football.
academic,
And academics, of course.
right?
Yes.
So when you came to Holmwood, what were your goals and objectives?
My main goal at the time was to ensure that Holmwood moves from where it was placed at the time. I think it was about ninth position to number one position, being the number one technical high school in the country.
Okay.
Right? And I had expected at the time to achieve that through ensuring that there is a program that is not only linked to sports but also academics, and there was a holistic program, right? And so I came in. It was quite challenging within the first year. There were a lot of resistance. Persons were pretty much comfortable doing things the way they've been doing it for many years, and they were pretty much comfortable. But the school was rated at that time as being unsatisfactory by the National Education Inspectorate. I came in and the board challenged me. The board charged me to overturn that rating, to get rid of that rating and to introduce a new one. And so I started working, but there was a significant pushback from teachers, from parents, from community members, because they've been used to Holmwood being a certain way.
Okay.
And I decided that I was going to take on the challenge. I was going to stand up to the pushback, because I believe that the direction within which I wanted to take the institution was the right direction. Right?
Okay.
But soon after, members of staff got on board because they saw the vision.
Yes, and they
got on board. They buy into the vision, and I must tell you that I came here 2016. We were inspected 2014 and rated unsatisfactory. 2017 we were interviewed again. We were assessed by the National Education Inspectorate, and at the end of that inspection, we moved from unsatisfactory to satisfactory within 1 year of my
big
leadership.
jump.
Right. And so ever since, we have developed a close relationship, a close bond. And when I say we, I mean my staff and parents, community members,
students.
They now believe in my vision. And the vision is now not only mine, it has become our vision.
Yes.
And we continue to move the institution in a positive way. I want to share quickly with you before it escapes me, the Pattison report that was done a few years ago in 2020, 2021. It was introduced in 2020 thereabout. That report positioned Holmwood Technical High School as the number 2 ranked technical high school in the country.
Yeah.
With Dintil Technical being rated as number 1.
That's good.
Right? And so we would have done tremendous work. I must let you know also that the Past Student Association, they believe in their school, and they've been working with me tirelessly to ensure that we improve not just the image of the school, but the performance of our students.
Holistically.
And so we've been doing well. My students today, I can tell you, they are inspired. They're excited about learning. No, you're gonna have those persons who you have to work a little harder to get them on board. But for the greater part, most of them, they appreciate learning. They understand what it is that we're trying to achieve as a school. And their parents too have bought into it. And so I believe we are moving in the right direction.
So in terms of sports now, let me ask you, as it relates to track and field, we know that we're in the new season. What are your expectations? Because champs is the high point, the apex of the local track and field, then you would move on to Premier League. What are your expectations for the team this year?
I've gone out to support the team at their different meets. I've gone and participated in road race with them. We participated in the prostate cancer run, the blue run in Kingston, myself and the team.
Yeah.
We participated in the pink run, the breast cancer run in Kingston, and we're going to be participating in the Sigma run, the 16th of November. And so I've been able to gauge the team and their performance. I maintain a very close relationship with my coaches, head coach, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Jones, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Gale, Mr. Barrett, Mr. Davey, Miss Tomlin. We've maintained a very close relationship. And I can tell you that we are going to be performing much better than we did last year. We were placed at number 4 last year, and I am expecting a number 2 spot this year. And of course, we're on a rebuilding program, and so I expect that within another 2 years, we should at least return to the coveted place of being champion of at least the girls section.
Yes.
And I want to share also that we have a set of boys, male athletes who are doing exceptionally well. They have heart, they are fighting, they are fighters. And they, based on the display of their display, in the different competitions, they are motivating other male students to come on board. And so we would not have been recruiting male athletes. It's just our natural talents that we have here in school, and they are doing extremely well. One of our class 2 boys on Saturday at the youngster Goldston Smith trial
in Kingston.
In Kingston at the stadium, he ran I think 10.84 100 meter and rocked the place. Oblique Seville.
I remember
the great Oblique Seville, who is now representing Jamaica in the 100 meters and went to Olympic the other day. He left Holmwood also. He transitioned from Holmwood. So he started his career, was doing extremely well here. Calabar learned of him and they borrowed him. And he went there and he represented well. He represented what himself. Just the other day he was on campus here. He still maintain a close relationship with his coaches and colleagues here.
Yes.
So we've been doing exceptionally well where the male athletes are concerned, but it's just that the numbers, in order for you to be positioned in this competition, you would have to have a number of boys participating in a number of events and amassing those points in order to be recognized as a school doing well with boys.
So how big is the squad? Is both male and female?
Male and female looking at about 95.
Okay.
95. Male and female looking
that's
at
combined.
Yes, combined. Because the boys squad is small. We have just probably about 82 females.
Okay.
And then we have another 13, 15 males thereabout.
And I've noticed that you have won the netball.
Yeah. That one is like a walk in the park for Holmwood these days. I mean, Holmwood is just, under the leadership of Carleen Graham Powell, our coach. She's been here for many years. And Carleen would have won over 30 titles between juniors and seniors over the time. And that would have put Holmwood Technical High School in the number 1 position in the Caribbean. Right, for having won the most netball titles
as a school.
Right,
and also female
football. We're doing exceptionally well in that. Also, we started, I think, 2017 thereabout, and we there wasn't any play in during the COVID period. And we would have gone to the finals twice. Back to back. Last year and the year before. We played Excelsior. Excelsior has been the champion for quite some time now, and we've been meeting Excelsior at the finals for the last 2 years. And this year, our eyes are set on the prize.
Big up Coach Morris.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Morris Duncan, has been a tower of strength for the female football program. Football in general, in the parish, in the school, but where the female football is concerned, he owns that program. He owns that program. He tried to provide the kind of support for the girls to keep them focused, to keep them in school, to keep them
mentorship.
Motivated.
Yeah.
And so, of course, commendations to Coach Duncan.
And also I noticed that Holmwood has dropped off the cricket.
We're back.
cricket
We are back. And I'm saying this now to the wider populace, to the public. We are back. Holmwood Technical High School is back where cricket is concerned. We won many titles, Headley Cup. Many titles. I remember
back in the days, man,
many
from
titles.
Franklin was days.
Yes, man, many titles. Holmwood Technical High School back in the days was the school to beat. We changed quite a few coaches over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Some of these coaches migrated. Most of our coaches would have migrated.
Okay.
And so we were not able to allow for business continuity.
Yes.
Yeah. Where the cricket team is concerned. We've been working now with Coach Brown, Dean Brown, former student and also national cricketer.
No, Dean Brown.
Right.
Is he a spin bowler?
Yes, he was. Right.
That was the first.
Yeah. So he
used to work along with. He used to spin bowl, spin partner with what's the guy name now? Had the most wicket in the Caribbean. He's the assistant coach for the No man.
I'm not sure.
Him took the most wicket for in the region here, man. I think he's the assistant coach.
Okay.
He worked with for West Indies in the spin department.
I'm not sure. I would have to ask him or do a little research.
Yeah, man. Never mind him, but I've been before.
But so we're back because we opened the season this year. We played last Thursday.
Yeah.
With Monroe. And we scored 350 plus runs. We declared at midday to allow for Monroe to bat, and we bowled them out for 100 and I think below 20. And the boys are training very hard. The coach is adamant that he's going to return Holmwood to where it is supposed to be on the cricket.
The person I'm talking about, Nikita Miller.
Oh, okay, Miller. I'm not sure if I'm not sure. Good. So we're back where that is concerned, where cricket is concerned, and we're really looking forward to doing extremely well.
Holmwood have some company now.
Yeah.
Like I have Mayday
is doing well.
Manchester is
doing well. Manchester doing well.
Always,
yeah, man. Yes. But we're ready for the challenge.
Okay.
We're ready for the challenge.
So I noticed that for football.
Yes.
Back in the days, Holmwood used to be one of those giants in this era. Yes. But for some years now, they have fallen under the radar. So what are your plans to bring them back?
Yes. Well, what we're trying to do is to start a program.
Yeah.
Right?
Because they didn't know this year, last year.
Yeah, true. And to be honest with you, for a number of years, there was never a football program at Holmwood Technical High School. There was a football team.
Okay.
Right? But there was never a real program.
Yeah.
And so we've engaged Mr. Baron Watson, more affectionately called Barry Watson, right, as our technical director for the football program. And we have working alongside him Mr. Newman,
yeah.
Right?
Errol
Newman, right? And we still have the support of past students who played football and who are coaching football, especially overseas. During our season, they'll come out and provide the support that is needed.
Yeah.
And we have the support, of course, of Coach Duncan Morris, though he specializes now in the females. Here at Holmwood Technical High School, he provides the assistance that is needed also for the boys. And so we have a very promising youth program going on. We have quite a number of young talented individuals who have become a part of the under 14 squad, the under 16 squad, and of course the D Cup squad. So we believe that come next season,
yes,
we will move up the rank where the D-Cup program is concerned.
Yeah.
And we also expect to do well in the youth programs, because you will understand that it is the youth from the youth programs who will be transitioning down the road into the D-Cup program. And so I believe that we are on the right path. We are moving in the right direction. But you will understand that every now and then we have to assess, we have to review what is happening and make adjustments. So we are prepared to make the necessary adjustments to at least give the youth, not just for the school to win a title, but at least give the youth an opportunity, the players an opportunity to represent themselves and to secure the scholarships that are needed so that they can matriculate into universities and of course lead meaningful lives.
Yeah, that's
take
true.
care of themselves and their families.
So, Sir Mckulsky, as a principal, what are some of your challenges as a principal? And I mean generally now, including staff, student, parents, community. What are your main challenge and how you're seeing yourself navigating through to overcome these challenges, if there's any?
Yeah, all right, very well. Yeah, there are challenges, and any principal you have to talk with, they will tell you that there are challenges. They experience challenge from time to time. Where the students are concerned, I would say that the greatest challenge that I face is the students. There is this get rich quick mentality that has crept into our society. And what you find is that it becomes more difficult to motivate a child to pursue the pathway of education, right? Especially when they look around them, they are seeing persons who would have been classified under the dunce culture mentality,
chopping the line,
flaunting these resources, and so it becomes somewhat a challenge, some form of discouragement. It becomes very discouraging. It discourages the children.
So does that impact the boys more or the girls, or both?
Both, I would say. Because the females, how it works now is that these persons who would have secured illicit wealth, through scamming and other means, drugs, whatever it is, they are parading their females.
Okay.
They're parading their females, showcasing them off, benefiting from these illicit riches. And so every young person, or most young persons, they want to be in a position where they too can be seen and recognized, and they too can have resources at their fingertips, so that they can get whatever it is that they want to get, or do whatever it is that they want to do. So it becomes easier than in the past for these persons now for the males to draw the females into their lifestyles, and it becomes, so it's kind of challenging.
But before you move on, let me ask you a question though, sir. Do you think that it is lack of discipline, not abuse, but lack of discipline both in the school system and in the society, really allow some of these things to creep in? Because when you and I were growing up, we didn't have that flexibility, and the community used to raise a child. So my mother could have seen me and scold you, and if you tell your mother, then you think that have anything to influence this kind of behavior?
I think it is more linked to poor parenting.
Okay.
And you made mention of when we were growing up.
Yeah.
We had the support of our parents, even if they couldn't read and write. They were pushing us and encouraging us to walk the straight and narrow way, to do this, to earn, to work for you, to sweat for you. Right. So what happened now is that we have children having children. And many of these persons.
That is happened before.
But the support system that used to be around those children when they gave birth is non-existent today.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's non-existent today. So what you find is that the parents are absent in many regards, and also if it is that they're not absent and they're not vigilant, then the children will start. They won't pick up when they won't detect when the child move away from those practices that they would have instilled in them to doing other things, right? And so I believe it has a lot to do with parenting.
But personally, for me, still, sir, I think we need a little bit more discipline through the society and
definitely.
in the school.
No, that goes without
I think that is a contributing factor.
It may be.
May not be the main factor, but
it may very well.
It
may very well be.
Yeah.
It may very well be.
So you were saying that you're moving to another point before I interject. About it, as I was asking, generally the challenge.
Oh yeah, teachers. I think my teachers are at a very good place.
Okay.
No, I think I'm at a very good place with my teachers. Mark, you're gonna have 1 and 2 teachers. I have a staff close to 100 teachers.
Yes.
You're gonna have 1 and 2 teachers who you have to talk with a little longer than some who you have to constantly remind and guide, and you have to mentor. But I believe that my teachers are all competent.
Yes.
They understand their purpose, the purpose of teaching. They understand the school's vision, and they are a part of the mission.
Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't say I think my teachers are at a very good place compared to where we're coming from.
Okay. How about your parents?
And parents, my parents are overly supportive. And I've worked long and hard. The team here at Holmwood, we have worked long and hard to get our parents where they are now. Mark, you having 1,600 students, approximately 1,600 students, it's going to be difficult for you to have the 1,600 parents on board.
Yeah.
But I can safely say that majority, a comfortable majority of our parents are on board. They understand what it is that we're trying to achieve. They are part of the mission. They understand the vision, and they're working closely with us. Okay. But you're always going to have those parents who tend to become the lawyers of their children, rather than the persons who are responsible to mold them and guide them. So they become the lawyers, and they become very boisterous at times whenever it is that we try to hold the students accountable.
Yes.
But it's in the minority, and we decide that we're not going to allow the minority to have us derail, to derail us as a school.
What about your general community?
Community is quite supportive. Back in the days, we had issues where we used to have break-ins. A lot of break-ins used to take place and stuff. But I can tell you, as it is now, the community is very protective of the school.
Yes.
Many of the employees are from the community.
Yes.
We have programs that we extend into the community from time to time: skills training program, reading programs, agricultural-based programs. And so we are encouraging them to start seeing the school as their school.
Yes.
Rather than seeing it as the government school, and allow it to become a free-for-all space, right? So I believe that we're at a very good place now where the community is concerned.
But just to backtrack a bit, sir. You mentioned about hardship, right? I noticed in the very in the past, sometime in last year, you were promoting some hard.
Oh yes, the prior learning assessment and certification program. So yeah, I having worked with Hardship for a number of years, I remain close with them. I understand the program setup.
Yes.
And the different offerings that they have. And so I looked at that was really that program was really aimed at empowering the community, empowering our parents, community members, staff, of course, and even students who are probably of age.
Yes,
empowering them to the point where they would have secured for themselves, after the assessment, the rigorous assessment period, certification that will allow them to matriculate even further into hard trust, as well as to serve as a part of their resume, for tertiary studies. That was a success. We certified just about 300
Wow.
community persons across about 10, 11 different skill areas.
Yes.
And it was dual certification. We had city and guilds, and we had NCT that participated in this certification program. And these ran for from September to December.
Yeah.
Two sessions each month. So we had just about 7-8 sessions.
Okay.
And the community responded, and up to it was Sunday, I visited a church. We were
Kabla.
at the same church in
Yes,
Kabla.
man. That's my church.
That's your church?
Yes,
okay,
man.
good. I was at Kabla New Testament, and at the end, a young man came to me and he shook my hand and he said, "Sir, thank you very much for this opportunity." And he took out his phone and he showed me the certificate on his phone to say that it was as a result of my contribution, of my initiative, my introduction of the idea, the initiative into the space, that he was able to secure that. And quite a number of other persons are sending me pictures and are commending me and thanking me. The aim was really to empower them.
So will there be another program moving forward?
Definitely, as a technical high school, and again, we're the only technical high school in the country, and so we have the resources, we have the labs settings and stuff, and so it would be it would be an indictment on us to not extend some of these vocational offerings into the community, the wider space, right? And so as a technical high school, from time to time, we will continue to seek out the opportunities and bring them here and invite the persons from the communities to come in and to benefit.
So could I make an application for additional course?
Yeah, sure.
Because I notice live streaming, videography is becoming very popular. So could it be that moving forward that could be one of those?
Yeah, I think the course for that is digital media. Yeah. We offer that course here in school at Cape.
Okay.
But of course, I understand you would want me to agitate for it to be delivered at the heart level.
Can be certified.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely make a note of that and try my best to see if it is being offered. That it could be.
So sorry, one more point before we move to our final point.
Yes.
So you mentioned your highs being a principal.
Yeah.
What are some of your lows?
Being a principal is a very lonely job. It can be a very lonely job at times.
Yes.
Because you have to be strong. And you have to steer your ship, right? Democracy does not always allow for smooth sailing, because different persons have different opinions as to how this must be done and why it should be done this way. Collaboration is important. You have to collaborate, but there comes a time when even while collaborating, you have to be providing the
firm,
kind of steering,
flexible,
right? Yeah, that is needed. And so sometimes you make some very unpopular decisions.
Yeah.
And when you make unpopular decisions, you're alone out there. Everybody else now become a critic.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to be strong enough to understand what is happening and understand the reason for your decision, and understand that this is going to happen, and you have to just hold straight and hold fast. Right, so it can be a very lonely space. If it is that you're going to be very effective, be a very effective principal, you can't just work 8 to 5, or you have to. Your job is extended over into the evenings, into the nights, into the early mornings, into the weekends. Right, even during the holidays, you have to be at work. When every teacher is out and on vacation and enjoying themselves, you as a principal have to ensure that you remain closely in touch with the realities on the ground, so as to keep the institution going. So what I'll say at this point is that it can become a very lonely job.
So would you say, sir, one of the lowest point for Holmwood Technical, maybe not for you as a principal, but for the institution, was the death of the bus driver?
Yeah, definitely.
Shocking waves
Yeah,
throughout the
it
community.
sent shockwaves throughout the campus, the community, the school community. That's a very unfortunate incident. For me, it was not just a murder. I believe that it hit deeper than just a murder. It happened in the presence of young minds, young persons. Other persons could have been seriously injured. I just consider it to be one of the most unfortunate incidents that would have happened in the school, and it affected all of us as a school family, because the deceased, the gentleman who was killed, Mr. Gentles, he was not just a driver, but he was a worker. He was a staff. He was a friend to many.
Yes.
He was a father to many children also, and much of the things that came out about him was after he died. I mean, many of the things that he was doing, he was assisting many of the persons he was assisting, many of the persons he was serving as mentor to. All of those things came out, and that even caused us to feel more hurt,
depressed.
But that's one of the lowest points. Another low point I experienced was the death of two of my students. One by way of drowning,
I remember.
And the other, she had a conflict at home in Trelawny with her cousin, and she died as a result of wounds she would have received at that time. Fortunately, it wasn't on the campus, but at the end of the day, it's one of our students. And she was a well-known student in school. Both of them happened to be students at Holmwood Technical High School, but they had issues at home, family issues, and they got into an entanglement, and the rest is history.
Yes, sir. But this question I want to ask, I've noticed that I've heard the name been mentioned in some other circles apart from being a principal.
Yes.
And that is in the political arena.
Yes.
How do you move from principal into a political arena? Is that you want to go into representation politics, or you just want to be a part of the organization to give support, or could you
all right, so that is, and thanks for that question. I enjoy service. I enjoy serving. I enjoy all my life. I've been working with people. I've been empowering persons. Working as a principal is quite rewarding.
Yes.
Especially when you happen to see your children graduate from this level and matriculate and graduate from their tertiary levels, and you see success written all over them. And so I really appreciate and enjoy serving as a principal. But at the same time, when I look at the state that my children are living in, when I look at the parents, the struggles that the parents undergo, when I look at all the state of the environment, the infrastructure, the condition that they live in.
Yes.
As a principal, it's extremely difficult for me to impact these spaces, these homes, these individuals at that level. And so I thought to myself that if I were to be in a position that allows for the availability of the resources, that allows for the execution of your vision, the plans of real developmental plans that you have, then it would serve the wider space, and later on, of course, would benefit the very school that I'm a part of, right? And so I've decided to throw my hat in the circle, in the ring. I can't tell you that I will be considered.
Yes.
But what I can share is that if I am considered, I definitely will give of my best to the people, to the constituency. I will seek to improve the lives of the parents, the household, so that at least it can filter down to the students, the children in the households, and of course into the school.
But I heard your name mentioned enough, and I heard some other names. So, as I said, if you have been considered.
Rightfully so.
So we understand.
Yeah, I'm not the only aspirant. There are 2 aspirants, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I am more keen on providing quality service to mankind.
Yes.
Right? If I could remain as a principal and benefit from the resources and the support of government, the support of the government systems, to help to build out a constituency, I would remain as a principal and do the work out there. But it pains my heart as principal. I mean, might I tell you, I have 2 children for myself.
Yeah.
My son and my daughter. And if you were to observe me on a regular day, you would think that I have 50, 60, 70 children on my own.
Yeah.
Right? I have to be providing, and this is common across high schools. I have to providing financial support, other resources, counseling, support, all type of support. So not just the children, but to the households, the families.
Extension.
Right? And so I am interested in serving the constituency of Northeast Manchester, the constituency within which my school falls. I have applied. I was advised by the secretariat of the party that my application is received and they will be communicating with me along with the other aspirant in a timely manner. And so I'm just awaiting the outcome of that. If it is that the party is of the view that I best remain as a principal, I'll have no objection.
So, you should name the party?
The Jamaica Labour Party. Labour Party.
Why the Jamaica Labour Party?
The Jamaica Labour Party, I believe, has demonstrated their ability to improve the lives of people. I mean, I've been a member of the Jamaica Labour Party from 2004. And I am telling you, at that time, the People's National Party was in power. But much of the policies that they were implementing at that time, and even before that, I believe they were not aimed at providing the growth that the country needed. They were not keen on empowering youth. It was more, I saw it at that time as more of handout type of politics. And I am one who believe that you mustn't always give a man a fish, but you must teach a man how to fish. I believe also that the Jamaica Labour Party has demonstrated its ability to manage carefully the economy of the country. And you will understand that if it is that you are serious about growth, if you're serious about nation building, you first and foremost must be able to maintain financial stability. You must be able to grow your economy, and with the growing of the economy, everything else will fall into place. And I believe that that is the place that we are now, and I want to be a part of that movement that will further improve on the lives of people in the country. And I have nothing negative to say about the People's National Party, because I'm a young man who believes that my style of politics must be different from what I would have seen in the past. And so my thing is about conversation, is about reasoning, but not about just demonizing and chastising. And so that is what I'm bringing. I want to introduce or to continue with the introduction of a newness in politics, a breath of fresh air, persons who are keen on not enriching themselves, not personal aggrandizement, but the genuine improvement of lives. That's what I am about.
Sir Mckulsky, we end on that note, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for this little chit chat.
Yeah, definitely.
And you will see it posted on my YouTube channel, the Sherlock Holmes YouTube channel. So guys, you can look out for this one in very short order. And you can go ahead and watch and leave a comment, like, share, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was nice having you.
Thank you. Thank you, man. My pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All the best, man.
All right,
And
sir,
take good care of yourself.
Yes, sir.
My respect.
Thank you very much,
man.
sir.
Yes,
All the best.
Good. Yes.
Yeah, that was a full.
That's it.
How long? How long?
My daughter.
About how long?
Yeah.